Jack POSOBIEC, author of Citizens for Trump, coming live here this morning. Still morning here on the East Coast. Just did a couple interviews myself in Poland. Polish television. President Trump will be in Poland in 8 hours. How awesome is that? How great is that? So CNN. Wow. This is bad. This is really bad, guys. This is really bad. This is really, really bad for CNN. They are doubling down. They do not realize how bad this is for them. What brand is worse than CNN right now? What brand name in America? Chris Cuomo. Chris Cuomo coming back and saying, oh, should be released. Chris Cuomo, the CNN morning host, opens up his show, wakes up this morning and said at 4 a.m. and says, should we release the name? Should we release the name? Oh my gosh, should we release the name? Yeah, I just did 2 interviews with Poland. I'm up here now, and now CNN is so 8chan last night said that 8chan is the ones who said that the original person was 15. 8chan, that comes from 8chan, you guys, from poll. You guys can go read that on 8chan poll from last night. That's where everybody was referencing the 15-year-old thing. They posted an account and they said this was him, and they said that it was 15. And now CNN is turning around and saying they're not 15. Well, excuse me, CNN, but we don't believe you anymore. Why should we believe you when you spread fake news? Why should we believe K-File? Why should we believe all of these people with their fake sources, all of these people with their lies? Why should we believe you when you're telling us, oh, we're not bad people? How? You realize their answer was to push back on us. Their answer was to attack us. Their answer was to double down. They still haven't apologized. They still haven't apologized for their threats. They still haven't. We've got Toronto Mom is making poems about CNN now. See, they're making poems about how terrible CNN is. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. What they need to do, number 1, is apologize. What they need to do, number 2, is turn back and say, this guy is fired. This guy needs to be fired, period. End of story. End of story. This guy absolutely needs to be let go. CNN's host, Chris Cuomo, turned around. Remember, Chris Cuomo said that we should, this is the same guy who said, oh, you shouldn't look at WikiLeaks. Chris Cuomo is the same guy that spread the lie that looking at WikiLeaks was illegal. Do you remember when he said that? Do you remember when he said that? Do you remember when Chris Cuomo said, oh, this is illegal and you shouldn't be looking at that? Because that was Chris Cuomo when he spread those lies. So why should we believe CNN? Why should we believe CNN when they refuse to apologize, when they use Gestapo, Soviet tactics to go after people who disagree with them? Why should we believe CNN? Why? Alright, so some people are saying they're a bit lost. Some people are saying they haven't been caught up yet. I recognize that it's still early in some corners. A lot of people were out for the holiday last night, and a lot of people spent yesterday enjoying the 4th of July. And you know what? I'm glad. I'm glad that most people spent yesterday enjoying the 4th of July with their families, enjoying the 4th of July with families and friends, because we should be doing that, right? We should be doing that. So let me give a quick rundown. CNN spent their 4th of July going after not Antifa, not terrorists, not ISIS. They decided to track down the person who created the meme of President Trump attacking CNN. That's what they did on their 4th of July. They decided to track him down. And after CNN tracked him down, they came back and said that if he didn't apologize, if he didn't put out his this sort of like disavowing of all of his statements, everything that he said and did, that everything that he said and did, that it was going to be released, that they were going to dox him, that they were going to put all of his personal information, all of his names, his family's name, his address, everything was going to be out there. And doxing means putting someone's personal documents, personal information out on, yes, it's illegal, it's blackmail, it's coercion, it's extortion. This is an extorted apology. That's why we're saying this is ISIS stuff. That's why we're saying this is attacks on people's liberty, their freedom of speech, their First Amendment. That's how CNN spent their 4th of July, attacking the First Amendment. That's how they spent CNN, because CNN is ISIS. Because CNN is ISIS. That is the issue here. That is the issue here. So, what we need to do is turn around and say that CNN, number one, needs to disavow their refusals, and anyone at CNN, Baby Tits Brian Stelter is the one who started all of this. Baby Tits Brian is the one who actually started all this by calling for the person to be attacked, by calling for the person to be found out. And guys, what happens? What's going to happen to that person? Regardless of their age, what's going to happen to that person if they are doxxed? What? What is going to happen? They're gonna lose their. Why do I call them baby tits? Simple. I call them baby tits because I've seen a picture of him. You see a picture of Brian Stelter, you know why I call him baby tits. All right, it's simple. It's simple. Baby Tits Brian Stelter is involved, and Chris Cuomo is now doubling down on his mafia tactics because Chris Cuomo knows all about this stuff. So that is the issue here. That is the issue here. Why is CNN spending their time, spending their situations, because they know if they release this stuff, that his name's going to get out there, that it's going to get known to potential future employers, that it's got that people, that what do you think Antifa is going to do if this guy is identified? What do you think Antifa is going to do if this guy is identified? Seriously. What do you think Antifa is going to do? Antifa is going to go after this guy like crazy. Now, Poll has turned around and declared Operation Autism Storm. Poll has declared war on CNN. It's like, I've heard people describe this as Gamergate 2.0 on steroids, okay? So CNN is trying to get their... You remember how we talked about the radicalization? Remember how we talked about how CNN is a radical madrasa, okay? Remember how we talked about that? Well, now we're seeing that CNN is not only radicalizing their followers, not only going after specific members of the internet community, the specific members of Reddit, they're specific people who making memes. And I talked about this last night. I did 3 periscopes on this. I did the first CNN blackmail periscope, and the hashtag is still trending. I didn't create the hashtag. I saw the hashtag CNN blackmail going. I said, you know what, that's perfect. It's simple. People will understand it. It's right there. So yeah, so Poll 8chan was the first people who made the claim that the poster was 15 years old. A lot of people posted it after that. I was one of them. It remains to be seen. CNN is currently denying that, but Poll says it. So we've got 2 sides, 2 opposing claims here. 2 opposing claims. 2 opposing claims. Right? What we absolutely need to do, is turn around and look at CNN and say, are you a news organization or are you threatening American citizens? Are you a news... Donald Trump himself said back in February. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter his age because it's still illegal either way. It's still illegal either way, regardless of this person's age. Regardless. Okay? It doesn't matter. So, do you trust Poll or do you trust CNN? All right? That's all I'm going to say. Is CNN a news organization or are they a terrorist organization? Is CNN a news organization or are they a mafia organization? I don't know. Is CNN a news organization or are they a left-wing activist propaganda arm of the Democrat Party? They are the media party. They are the left wing. They are the people that have caused these issues. And they must be called out, simply. Must be called out and must be stopped. They are a disinformation campaign on steroids. They are disinformation on... They're worse than fake news. See, they're not just fake news. That's the thing. Is fake news is we didn't realize how bad the problem was. And I'm going to take responsibility for that. I called CNN fake news early on, and I thought that's all they were doing. I thought the problem was just that CNN was fake news. We didn't realize how bad it was, guys. I'll admit when I was wrong. I'll admit when I'm wrong. I will have the credibility to admit when I was wrong. Okay? And I admit that I was wrong when I thought CNN was just fake news. I admit that I was wrong when saying that CNN was just fake news. It's worse than that. They are actively promoting the targeting of U.S. citizens. They are actively promoting threats to private U.S. citizens for exercising their First Amendment rights. They are actively supporting domestic terrorists by covering up Antifa. They are actively supporting pushing back against the free flow of information, the free flow of ideas. They are propagandists. They are literally, when James O'Keefe was right, James O'Keefe absolutely nailed it when he called them American Pravda. Because Pravda, if you went back and looked, and I got to give James O'Keefe and Project Veritas all the credit here for that name, because when he found out that label, when he gave them that label as American Pravda, he was absolutely correct. Because it's not just, right, this is stuff that, it's not just propaganda and fake news about the government, right, about the ruling regime. They're actually attacking anyone that goes against them. They're attacking anyone who stands against the mainstream media. They're attacking individual citizens. They're attacking individual liberties. That was the other half of what Pravda did. That is the other half of what Pravda was doing during the time of the Soviet Union. So that is what American Pravda absolutely got right. That is what they absolutely got right. American Pravda, James O'Keefe, I've got to give them full credit. Now, I see a lot of people, and I want to explain something, all right? I want to see something. I want to explain something to people. A lot of people are saying we got to pull their FCC license, okay? But we can't because FCC doesn't license cable. CNN is a cable channel. The FCC doesn't touch cable. They just do broadcast. They don't touch cable. So anybody thinking FCC, it's not the right direction here. They only go against broadcast. FCC is not cable. Okay, so the way to go against them, there's a few ways. There's a few ways here, all right? First, memes. A meme jihad. A meme jihad against them. Boom. Meme jihad against CNN. That's already been declared by a poll. They've already declared a meme jihad, World War meme against CNN. Number two. CNN needs to have their advertisers contact to see if their advertisers support what CNN is doing. That's number two. And number three, we need sources from inside of CNN. If you know people within CNN, if you know people who work for CNN, if you are someone who works in CNN, if you work the floor, if you're a producer, if you're someone who's been in there, if you've been in the offices, if you've been an intern, if you're a caterer, we need the leaks. We need people from inside CNN to tell us the truth, and that's number one. My DMs are open. I urge anyone to come forward now, because CNN is going down. As a company, they're in a merger right now with AT&T. AT&T is going to lay off so many people because Time Warner they're just going to have to cut people at CNN. They're going to have to. So CNN is going down. If you are working at CNN, if you are someone who's looking for a way out at CNN, you got to do it. You got to come forward now. You've got to have put out the truth. Stand on the right side of history. Stand on the right side of history and tell us the truth now. And we need whistleblowers. So I'm calling all the whistleblowers forward right now. Hashtag CNN blackmail. You can reach out to me. I always protect my sources. We will protect you. It's time for the whistleblowers to come forward at CNN. Jack POSOBIEC, author of Citizens for Trump, signing off.